Hey agents, welcome back to another episode of Prime Tips. Hey, today we're talking about listening. We're talking about the sounds in Ingress. Not so much what you see, but what you hear. So we're talking about audio augmented reality through the use of spatial audio. I know that's a mouthful, but we're going to break it on down so that you can kind of understand what we're talking about, but you'll know it when you experience it. And with that in mind, in today's episode, if you can, I would highly suggest that you listen to it using headphones or earbuds, or if you have a computer or a television that has discrete left and right channels, because you'll be able to kind of understand what we're doing when we get into demonstrating what's going on. Now, if you're just using a phone that has a single speaker or something like that, you probably are not going to notice much difference when we get to that point of it. But that's the whole point of what we're talking about, is the soundscape, the sounds in Ingress. So what are we talking about? Well, what is audio AR and spatial audio? Well, audio AR is audio augmented reality, and spatial audio is basically the sounds that can be heard from a specific location. So this could be things that you hear off to your left, off to your right, in front of you, behind you, or in relation to your orientation. So it might be, as I turn to my left, what do I hear? As I turn to my right, what do I hear? So that's spatial audio. Now, when you get into audio AR, that's made up of all different kinds of sounds. So it's what you're actually hearing. So those could be environmental sounds like biophony, which would be the sounds of nature, the sounds of the environment around you, so to say. Anthropy, I hope I got that one right, I'm not sure, but man-made sounds, things like air conditioners, cars, somebody swinging a hammer, something like that. Geophony, which earth-based sounds, so again, nature, animals, wind, that kind of stuff. Music, special effects, all the different types of sounds that you would hear, all of that goes together to make up AR. So it's what you hear and how it's presented. Now, when they updated the scanner, they made a number of changes to what you hear, and they have refined that. So some of you that have used the scanner for a while, you may remember the ping. So at the ping, if you didn't experience it, it was kind of like a sonar ping that was constantly going off, and the idea was that it would bounce off objects and tell you how close you were, I guess. But it just didn't work out the way they thought, so the ping kind of went away. But they've added a number of things. The sounds that you would hear for a resistance portal or an enlightened portal, or the sounds that you hear when Ada is nearby or Jarvis is nearby. So all of those sounds, some of them are from the redacted scanner, pretty much the same. Some of them are new. So that all makes up the soundscape. So when you look at Ingress and its soundscape, its AR, basically they kind of break it into three areas, and it's easy to find. If you go into settings, you can control those three things. So you have background effects. Now, I think that that's basically the environmental sounds that you would hear. So if you're near an enlightened portal that's fully deployed, you might hear the growl, if you've heard that before. If a resistance has a different sound, kind of the resistance wind sound that you might hear. So those are the things that are in the background. You might hear special effects. So those you hear quite a bit as you're playing. So whenever you're attacking something, hacking something, deploying something, modding something, all of those have their own sounds. And it could even be sounds that you're not doing. So if you hear, say, a portal that is degrading or losing power or being attacked in the distance, you could hear that. So those are the effects. And then the speech sounds, the sound of Ada, the sounds of Jarvis. Usually those come from L8 portals, but it might also be welcome back, I haven't seen you for a while, or that a cube is down on its percentage, those type of things. So you can control the levels of those. And a lot of times whenever I'm recording a screen, I have to turn those way down, because if I have them all the way up, you can't hear me. And I know you want to hear me. But that's one of the things that you would have. So what makes up the spatial audio? How do they make that work out? Well, that's something that they've done some stuff, and they've added some stuff. Near and far, to kind of make that illusion, so to say, louder or softer. So if it's nearer, it's going to be louder. If it's further away, it's softer. So you may hear that whenever you're going near a deployed portal or something like that, or as it goes away, it'll be less. And you can do that, pull that off with mono. So that has been in the scanner for quite a while. Left and right. Now, they didn't have a whole lot of that, and that's stereo panning. So you hear something on your left, you hear something on your right, to know that it's off to my left or it's off to my right. So you have to have stereo for that to work. So if you're playing on a phone and it has a single speaker, you're not going to experience that left and right panning because you've got one speaker. If you have the headset or earbuds, then you're going to experience that stereo left and right. And if you haven't done it lately, I highly suggest putting your earbuds or your headphones and then go out and move around, turn left and right when there's a portal go by. You'll be surprised at what you actually do hear. The other thing that could be spatial audio is the idea of what's in front of me, what's behind me. Now that gets pretty complicated because you either have to use surround sound or holophonic sound, 3D sound. Now, I don't want to get too geeky, but there's a lot to making that kind of stuff work. So, surround sound, I don't think we're ever going to see surround sound in Ingress, because for surround sound to really work, you got to have at least 3 speakers. Most common surround sound that's out there is the 5.1 surround sound. So that's where you have a speaker to front left, you have a speaker front center, which usually has what people are speaking about, or the dialogue, front right, back left, back right. That's your 5 speakers. Dot one woofer. So I don't know if anybody's going to be playing Ingress in surround sound. It would be kind of cool. But what they probably have done, I don't know if they've done it or not, it's kind of hard to tell, would be a holophonic sound. Now, holophonic sound can be pulled off with just earphones. So it uses a number of tricks. One of them is a binaural recording. So it's a left and right recording, but instead of having, like I have one mic that's feeding a left and right channel, you have a speaker that feeds the left. You have a mic that feeds the left, and you have a mic that feeds the right. And that way you can separate and you can change, and you can do the other part, which is interaural. So changing the arrival times, the amplitude, those kind of things. So by mixing amplitude changes, arrival times, echoes, left and right, all of that can give you the illusion of sounds emanating from a specific direction. So you can make it kind of sound like it's something back over your left shoulder. Surround sound will actually do that. Holographic can kind of fake that. And it really depends upon the equipment that you have. So if you've got some crappy headsets, it's not going to have the quality to pull off some of that. So it may not be as noticeable if you have a really good set of headsets or earbuds. So, all that being said, what have they done? What have they added? Well, they have added the idea of spatial audio. So, for the most part, it's left and right. So you can hear things that are on your left, hear things that are on your right. Now, I don't know if they've gone full-blown holophonic. It's kind of hard to tell with my phone. But there is a noticeable difference in the sound than what you had previously, which would have been more of a mono sound. So I can't really show you that, but I can kind of fake it. So let's see me fake it. Okay, agents, Dewey J in the field. One of the newer features is the aural landscape, what you hear. So if you're one of those that
don't play with headsets on, you may not be experiencing this, and it's something that you really should put your headsets in and experience. Now, you don't have to have the special Sony link buds to experience this. You can experience it, you just don't get the heads up.
What I probably really should there is head tracking. So with the new link buds, you will get the spatial sound that we're going to be looking at here, but you also get the idea of head tracking. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to show you guys head tracking. I'll see if I can pull that off. But with head tracking, basically the direction of your avatar, and in my case here, the van, will be reflected by the direction of your head, not the direction of your scanner. So in this case, you notice that well, if you're looking at the video, the van is pointing straight up. So if I turn my head to the right, the van would turn to the right, but the view would stay in the same orientation that it is. Again, I can't really show you that, but we'll see if we can pull that off. Let's keep going here.
So the idea is, as you turn left or right, things that are on your left or on your right are more pronounced. You can hear them. Now, I can't really give you an example of that natively with a phone recording because my phone records in mono, but I'll see if I can fix it in post. So we'll turn up the sound, I'll make a couple sweeps, and hopefully I'll be able to change it. Here we go. Mostly hear it on my right. Should hear it pretty equally, left and right. Mostly on my left. There we go.
So if you weren't able to see the video, whenever the sound was on my left, there were fully deployed portals in the direction left from my avatar. So the left of the avatar's forward movement. And then the same thing whenever I turned back and they had them on the right of the forward movement of the avatar, they would show up on the right, and then it came back in the center. So that's kind of a decent approximation of what you hear. It's really something to experience when you're in the scanner. And again, you won't hear it all the time. If you're in an area where there's no portals that are deployed, those kinds of things, you're not going to hear it. But if there's activity, you're going to hear it. So I'm pretty sure that you would even be able to hear effects. So what we saw there was the background noise because of the portals and the speech that's coming out of those portals. But I'm pretty sure that you should be able to hear effects as well. So if you have a portal to your right that is decaying, you could say, hey, something to my right is decayed, or something to my right is being attacked. And that's going to help you orient yourself as to where you need to go and see what's going on. So that's spatial audio and augmented reality through your ears. So I hope that I not only see you, but I hear you in the field sometime soon. See you later, agents.